Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 3-Wide INDYCAR edition. This week the Verizon INDYCAR series was at Barber Motorsports Park for the Honda Indy GP of Alabama. This race was the tale of 2 days, where on Sunday it was a downpour and the cars could barely handle. We saw Joseph Newgarden hydroplane and Will Power hydroplane and spin out. The heavy rain with low visibility caused 2 red flags, which then got the race postponed to Monday. And on Monday, the INDYCAR series put on a decent show where rain returned, and it ended up with Joseph Newgarden getting the win, his second in a row at Barber Motorsports Park, and his second win of the season after he won at Phoenix earlier this year. Now on to the 3 bad things that came out of the Barber Motorsports Park race. Number 1, the stop-start red flags. After Will Power went spinning, the INDYCAR series threw a red flag. That was at 3:42 Eastern. They then sat under the red flag until going back to yellow at 4:24 Eastern. They then went back out. It was so bad that they then recalled another red flag at 4:34 Eastern, which then led to them calling the race and postponing it to Monday at 6:01 Eastern. During this red flag, the fans at home were treated to learning that James Hinchcliffe finally peed himself in a race car, and on Twitter, Ed Carpenter Racing and Penske Racing were playing a game of tic-tac-toe. Now looking back at it from today with the weather that we saw and the weather that we had yesterday at Barber Motorsports Park, many people are wondering why INDYCAR just didn't call this race sooner and then we could have had more laps, considering today was dry for the most part until the end. Number 2, the restart procedures with refueling. After many people played strategy early in the race, like Simon Pagenaud, who came into pit, when the red flag was thrown and then they were told the race would start on Monday, the teams were told that they could refuel the car and put whatever tires they want on it. I understand the tires, considering the race is going to be dry and you don't want guys running out there on wet tires, but the refueling really put a damper on some people's races, like Simon Pagenaud, who already thought they'd have a fuel jump on people. I believe the INDYCAR series should have just let people put whatever tires they want on and send them back out, and if they wanted to pit, they could have pit and lost their position instead of keeping their spots. And number 3, Will's power runs out. The tumultuous season of my championship pick just continues, with Will Power spinning out with the rain and ending his day, where he just comes out later on Monday and just runs a couple laps to pass some guys that weren't going to come back out and gain a little bit more points. After a second place finish in Long Beach, Will Power looked like he could build on a good finish. He qualified second, just being outdueled by his teammate Joseph Newgarden, but that did not come to fruition when he had his problems. Now it looks like Will Power is going to have to put on an unbelievable part in his season, where he's currently 10th in the points if he wants to get a championship out of this season. Just on a side note, Roger Penske did not come back for Monday. I know he's the owner of the team and everything, but if you're going to call the shots for a team, you got to show up even if it's on a Monday, or let someone else take over full time. Now on to the 3 good things that came out of the Barber Motorsports Park race. Number 1, Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports back in the top 5. After a tough run at Long Beach, where James Hinchcliffe got a 9th place finish and Robert Wickens had mechanical problems finishing towards the back of the field, Schmidt-Peterson responded today with James Hinchcliffe getting on the podium, finishing 3rd, and Robert Wickens finishing right behind him in 4th. Schmidt-Peterson looks to build going into May with the Indy GP and the Indianapolis 500 to see if Wickens get his first win and if Hinchcliffe get his first win of the season. Number 2, Joseph Newgarden goes back-to-back at Barber Motorsports Park. After beating Will Power last year at Barber, where Will had a tire problem, Joseph Newgarden went and dominated today's race, whether it was in the wet or in the dry. Now Newgarden looks to defend his championship from last year as he took the points lead back from Alexander Rossi. He'll now look to build on his 2 wins from Phoenix and today at Barber Motorsports Park to defend his championship and go back-to-back potentially. And number 3, the best thing that came out of today's race was the rain returning. Yes, with 15 minutes left in the race, the rain returned to Barber. This threw a wrench in many people's strategy calls, whether they're trying to do it on 1 stop or 2 stops. With 10 minutes left in the race, Joseph Newgarden head down pit road to get his wet tires. He was the first one to get on the wets. This left Sebastian Bourdais trying to make time with his slick tires with the rain coming down, hoping that the rain would subside and potentially dry out. Bourdais had to come in with about 5 minutes left in the race, where he could not stay out on the slicks any longer without losing it. With the rain returning, this threw some strategy calls and made people who you didn't think could win the race potentially win. After the rain was a huge problem on Sunday, it turned out to be a big positive on Monday. Now on to what to look ahead to on May 12th at the Indy GP. Number 1, Helio Castroneves returns to INDYCAR. Yes, after moving to the IMSA series for Penske this season, Helio Castroneves will return to the IndyCar series at both Indy races this year. This is a big plus considering he was the most popular full-time IndyCar driver last season. And getting him back, with him potentially going for his 4th Indianapolis 500, Helio Castroneves being back is something huge to look forward to, where he begins his month of May at the Indy GP, where he finished 5th last season. Number 2, Power and Pagenaud going for their 3rd win at the Indy GP. Since the Indy GP was added to the schedule, only 2 drivers have won there. Will Power's won twice and Simon Pagenaud's won twice. Now going back there, we'll see if they can get their 3rd win, or will someone new pop up and win the Indy GP. And number 3, Bourdais' revenge. After blowing an engine in last year's Indy GP, and everyone knows about his huge crash during Indy 500 qualifying, Sébastien Bourdais looks to take revenge on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where he had 2 huge problems last season. We'll see if he can kick things off and win the Indy GP. And that'll do it this week for 3 Wide IndyCar Edition. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below and tell me what you're looking forward to at Indy next month. Thanks for watching.